Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head back to Estonia for the first time in about 2-3 months if memory is serving me correctly. So we're going to go back to Tallinn and we're going to have another beer from Põhjala Pruulikoda, who I have to say do things at both ends of the spectrum pretty damn well actually. I've had some really nice dark beers from these guys and also some quite interesting IPAs. Incidentally, my favourite beer that I've had from these guys I'm sure was called Black Forest, and it was this beautiful berryish black IPA actually. But we're going to have a look at their latest release here in Sweden, which came through the small partiers in Systembolaget on the 3rd of May. So this one is the Kosmos. It's an IPA coming in at 5.5% ABV, and it is it's not their highest rated beer that I've come across, but it's got hops in it that I'm sure will be really nice. It's Eldorado, Victoria's Secret, Mosaic and Citra that's in this, so a nice interesting combination was this one, and this is a style that I know this brewery do pretty well actually. And the Estonian beer market I know is doing pretty well these days. There's a hell of a lot of good breweries there. I've tried things from Urlanat, Lea, Puhasta I think as well, and also Pohjala, but Pohjala of course are the ones that we get most regularly over here in Sweden. I do need to get a trip back over to Estonia to visit my good friend Einar and try some of the other beers, because I think it was just kicking off when I was over there back in 2013. But really looking forward to trying this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my take on this beer. It's always cool to review some Estonian things for you on the channel. A really nice little country actually. So yeah, let's get on with the video itself then. So as always with my reviews, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Pohjala before. No doubt there will be some more in the fairly near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Estonian beers that I've reviewed for you. Hopefully I can add more to that in the near future with a few different breweries as well. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Põhjala Pruulikoda then. So Pohjala are based in Tallinn in Estonia, the capital city, kind of in the northwestern part of the country I guess you could say, right on the coast, and this company was founded by Peter Cake, N. Pal and Grain Nurmitz, and they were later joined by Tiit Pananen as well. But the pair, or the group rather, basically went on a fact-finding trip to Brewdog in Scotland, and it was there that they encountered Chris Pilkington, who later joined them as their head brewer. And he'd actually graduated in marketing, but he really was a very avid home brewer. So they opened their brewery in May of 2014 in the Nurma district of the city, and this had an initial capacity of 12 hectolitres, but this was scaled up considerably over the coming years. They started exporting their beer in 2015, and the brewery are now really quite widely known throughout Europe. At this brewery they also had a tap room that had 24 taps, but in 2018 they moved to a new brewery in the Noblessner shipyard, which is in northern Tallinn right next to sea, and this has a brewery with a capacity of 50 hectolitres per brew, a 50 hectolitre Rolex kit I believe it is they have, and they've got an even bigger tap room there now, and they are planning to expand a little bit further than that as well. So at the moment they're exporting to well over 30 different countries, and when you can have a little look at the list on the brewery website as well, they're going out to Singapore, I think Hong Kong and Japan and stuff like that as well. I have seen some of the Pohjala beers in Japan if memory's serving me correctly, and I don't know if they're making, I can't remember if they're making it to South America, but yeah, definitely the best known Estonian brewery these days. And yeah, they do some pretty nice stuff I have to say. These guys are particularly good at adding stuff to beer. They're particularly good when it comes to adjuncts and things like this. So if you get the chance to try some of these beers, I really recommend that you do. And if you do get the chance to try the Black Forest or any of the Banger series, those are probably the most interesting beers I think that you're going to find from this brewery. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about Pohjala just now. As always, you can check out the brewery website in the description below, and you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and that will keep you up to date with all of the latest goings on there. But yeah, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself then. So just to tell you a bit about the specs of the beer before we open it up. This one is a 5.5% IPA, it's hot with Citra, Mosaic, Eldorado and Victoria's Secret, and it's got a malt base of flaked wheat, flaked oats and pale malt, and the translation of Cosmos into English of course is space. I think that's always quite a cool word actually, so yeah, Cosmos. But yeah, let's get rid of the brewery notes then and we can get on with the tasting of the beer. Just let you have a little look at the artwork then, quite similar to some of the other Pohjala ones that you're going to find. Usually these kind of don't know if it's right to call them an abstract sort of surfacey kind of background, if you like, but there you can see a little bit about the Kosmos beer. So it says an intergalactic IPA brewed with huge amounts of citra and mosaic, and you can also see that in Estonian there too. So Estonian, incidentally, for those of you that don't know, it's a Uric language, or and so it's it's a little bit similar to Finnish. I think they understand about 30% of each other. And one of the most unusual things in Estonian is when they say tasty cocks. I think it means 13 months or 15 months or something like that. So tasty cocks in Estonian means 15 months. And the word for government in Finnish apparently means mould in Estonian. That was one that Einar always used to tell me, and I always liked his name too, Einar Karu, Einar the bear. But yeah, nicely presented beer, this one. There is the Pohjala bottle cap on this one. They do have different colours of these. You do get one that is mainly black with a little bit of white on it, but it's exactly the same design otherwise. But yeah, let's get this guy out and we will get on with the taste. And then, as I said, an IPA coming in at 5.5%, so one of the lower alcohol IPAs that you're going to come across. But yeah, as I said, Estonia, really nice little country. Very nice people, in fact, actually, and it's really done very well for itself. You know, it's one of the big digital hubs in Europe these days. You've got Tartu, the second city, that's the home to their oldest university. That's really nice. Pärnu is the summer capital as well. I need to get out there in the summer and have a look at that sometime, because it's supposed to be very nice. And Tallinn, of course, has a really beautiful old town with walls around it and things like that. But yeah, so as you can see with this beer, it's poured a really nice kind of hazy golden colour, this one. I would say if I hold this beer up to the light, it is more of an orangey yellow colour, this one. And of course, since it has the flaked oats in it, it will be a New England IPA. There's a solid half finger of a frothy, I would say perfect white head on this one. That one's not creamy at all. One or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and a few little ones just heading up towards the bottom of that head there. You can see if I put my fingers behind the glass there, you've got a really nice haze on this beer, not much in the way of transparency. You can smell some of these lovely fruity notes coming out of this one as well as you open it up. But let's take a closer look at that aroma then and just see how we get on. Oh, that smells good. So yeah, straight away with this beer, you get a whole waft of different fruits. Definitely a nice little bit of mango from the citra. You can pick up some of those orangey, more of a tangerine orange, I would say, from the mosaic. That pops out at you right away. But you can smell the Eldorado coming out of this one quite nicely as well. Eldorado always gives you a really interesting sort of pineapple-y note. And the Victoria's Secret, it's an interesting one. It's almost like the little brother of the Australian Galaxy. Galaxy is becoming a really popular hop in Europe, and I think the Australians are kind of pushing up the production of the hop. And Victoria's Secret is just a little bit of a kind of little brother of it. It's quite similar in its profile from what I remember. So there's definitely a note of kind of darker passion fruit in here as well. So for me, passion fruit, mangoes, definitely some tangerine oranges to this one, and it's also got a little bit of the kind of pineapple-y notes. I want to say there's a little touch of lime in there too, because citra of course can give you some really nice complexities. But yeah, it's mainly a tropical fruit, this one. The oranges, the tangerine oranges, are taking a little bit of a sort of a back seat in this one, but if you take it in a little bit more deeply, you really can smell the nice juicy notes from that, I have to say. So as I always say, take a little bit of time and just enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. I have to say, the aroma of this beer is pretty damn nice, so just enjoy that for yourselves before you get stuck into this one. On the malty side of things, yeah, on the malty side of things, this one, it has a really nice sort of white bready, wheaty quality to it. Yeah, nice sort of white bready, wheaty quality to the beer. You can smell some of the oaty creaminess in there, and you've also got a little bit of the yeah, you've also got a little bit of the sort of biscuity sweetness in there too. So yeah, really nice smelling beer. This one pretty much typical for what you'd expect from a New England IPA these days. So as I always say, take a little bit of time and just enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. But we are going to have a taste of this one now. So this one is the Kosmos IPA, coming in at 5.5% ABV from Põhjala Pruulikoda in the northern part of Tallinn in Estonia in the Baltics. Let's get stuck into this one. Slanja, skål, terveyseks. Yeah, that's a nice beer, this one. This one, you know, it's a pretty straight up IPA, and I'm sure I said the same thing about the last beer that I had from Pohjala as well. You know, they do really kind of solid beers, this one. It's not one of the more adventurous ones that they're doing. I think, you know, these Pohjala beers are the more kind of drinkable ones, and they seem to be doing this. They've got their series with all the adjuncts and things like that are the ones to really make you think and show you some really unusual things that you can do with beer. And they've got these ones as well that are more along the lines of, you know, just have a nice sessionable drinkable beer. And I do like the fact that they've got that that variety in there. And this is a very kind of solid, straight up New England IPA, to be honest. It's doing nothing surprising with the style, it's just very solid, and that's exactly what you want sometimes. But yeah, it's good, this, I like that. So yeah, middle of your palate then, you've got a nice kind of smooth wheaty quality there. You will notice that this beer, that they've got the malt base on this pretty good actually. The wheaty side of the beer is very, very smooth, and you start to notice that the oats, the oaty creaminess is just sitting right on top of that actually, so you can really feel that oaty creaminess just sitting in the middle of your palate there. In the very centre of your tongue you've got a nice little bit of a biscuity note, and I would say it's quite a sweet biscuity note actually. It's even sweeter than, there might even be a little tiny touch of straight up caramel in there, but as you go further out from the middle of that, the middle of your palate, you do get a little bit more of a kind of more biscuity, like McVitie's Digestive kind of taste out of this beer. But yeah, the malt base, I like the wheaty smoothness in this one. They've got a really nice sweet and creamy malt base to this one actually. But yeah, they have done a good job of that, I have to say. In terms of the hoppy side of the beer then, again this is quite nice. Back corners of the palate you've got a little bit of earthiness there, and that'll be from the mosaic mainly. But as you come further forward along the sides of the tongue, you can feel the earthiness just spreads out a little bit, becomes a little bit more floral and aromatic. Then round the very front curve of the tongue, you've got that nice, lighter, grassy side of the beer. So the green side of the hops are quite nice to this one. It does give the beer an element of freshness, but behind the front curve of the palate, of course, that's where all the fun kicks off with this beer. So at the back part of the fruity side of the beer, you've got a nice little touch of a passion fruity note in there. Like I say, I suspect that will be coming from the Victoria's Secret, but as you move a little bit further forward than that, you start to get the mangoes from the Citra, which is quite nice. Yeah, you start to get the mangoes from the Citra out of this one, which is really nice. And then further forward from that, you get the you start to get the tangerine oranges. The oranges are coming out a little bit further forward on the palate. There is a little touch of a limey note to this one as well, almost on the very tip of the tongue, but if you go to that very centre at the tip of your tongue, there's a little bit of a blueberry note, and that comes mainly from the mosaic, I would say. It's really nice how all the fruity side of things in this beer go together, but the further you go into the aftertaste, the more you'll feel some of the oaty notes pushing their way out of this one, and some of the slightly darker tropical fruity notes push their way out of this beer as well. But you know, overall I have to say it is really nice how all the flavours go together, this one. Like I said, this beer doesn't particularly do anything kind of surprising with the style, but it just does it very solidly, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all actually. So thumbs up to Põhjala Pruulikoda once again for pulling off a very solid New England IPA. If you like your IPAs to be a little bit more tropical and slightly darker in that tropical flavour, this is one that's going to suit you as well. If you like a nice smooth kind of wheaty malt base, again this is one that's going to suit you a little bit as well. Yeah, I do like how this whole thing goes together. So as I always say, just enjoy these beers and just enjoy the fruity side of them. I really like, this is definitely one of these beers. A lot of people want beers to be very bold and big and brash and kind of out there, but sometimes it is nice to have something that just blends together really well, and that's what they've achieved here. In terms of the mouthfeel then, I would say this is a fairly, it's a fairly mid-bodied beer. Carbonation in this one does have a little tiny prickle to it, which is nice, but mainly it's quite smooth. Overall, I'd say the mouthfeel, it does have an element of creaminess to it, but it's a little bit more oily. It does have a good bit of an oily quality as well. Nice little bit of hoppy bitterness. We're talking around 30 IBUs in this beer, maybe 35. But some nice juicy fruitiness, and the malt base, as I said, has a really good balance between the smoothness and a little touch of sweetness in the top as well. But overall, a nice session beer, this one, and I do like that they're doing some solid sessionable IPAs as well. All of the different hops in this one are playing their role. You're getting the passion fruit from the Victoria's Secret. You're getting a little bit of the kind of pineapple-y, stone fruity tropical notes as well. From the El Dorado, you're getting the oranges from the Mosaic, and also the kind of mangoes from the Citra. So all the hops are quite present in this one, which is really quite nice. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Another really nice, solid, sessionable, drinkable beer, this one. So if you get the chance to try it, have a go at it. It should still be fairly widely available here in Sweden, and I guess in Estonia it's pretty easy to get a hold of as well. So yeah, let's leave it at that. Once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Põhjala Pruulikoda as well. Do give me some other brewery recommendations from Estonia as well. I would like to review more Estonian beers. I just need to find some way of actually getting a hold of them, because I know the quality of beer is down there. I'd like to try some from like Ullenalt and a couple of other breweries, so if there is some way to get them up here in Sweden, I need to have a little, I would be really interested in that, so I need to look into that a bit more. But yeah, if you get the chance to try some of the Põhjala beers, try some of the darker ones particularly, because they are as I say, this brewery are experts at adding stuff to beer and doing it very, very well. So have a go at some of the Banger series or some of the Forest series actually. Those are always really interesting. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff, and I will catch you guys very soon. Make sure you check out my social media, and I'll catch you guys very soon. This one is the Kosmos New England IPA at 5.5% from Põhjala Pruulikoda in Tallinn, Estonia. Slanja, skull, Terviseks.